In 1824, French physicist Joseph Fourier proposed that Earth's atmosphere traps heat, acting like a greenhouse. Later, in the mid-1800s, John Tyndall and Eunice Newton Foote showed that gases like CO and water vapor absorb infrared radiation. And in 1896, Svante Arrhenius became the first to calculate how CO emissions from fossil fuels could warm the globe. The Industrial Revolution dramatically increased CO from about 290 ppm in 1850 to over 315 ppm by 1960. In 1958, Charles David Keeling began precise CO measurements, creating the famous Keeling curve, showing an unmistakable upward trend. By the 1960s, climate models by Manaba and Witherald confirmed that rising CO would increase surface temperatures. Climate change emerged in political discourse during the 1972 UN Stockholm Conference and the formation of the IPCC in 1988. From the first IPCC report in 1990 onward, each assessment reaffirmed global warming driven primarily by human emissions. Satellite and surface data aggregated show temperatures rising in lockstep with CO levels. Global average temperature has already risen about 1.2 degrees Celsius since 1880. 2024 saw average temperature exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Records for extreme heat and storms are shattering worldwide. The frequency of heat waves, droughts, floods, and wildfires driven by trapped heat and jet stream changes has tripled since the 1950s. Agricultural failures and health crises now follow climate disruptions. Efforts to address climate began with the 1992 Earth Summit and Kyoto Protocol, 1997. Then in 2015 came the Paris Agreement. 195 nations committed to keep warming well below 2 degrees Celsius, aiming for 1.5 degrees Celsius. Though legally binding, the Paris Agreement relies on voluntary national targets and 5-year reviews. The U.S. left in 2020, rejoined in 2021, then withdrew again in early 2025, underscoring fluctuating political will. Trillions invested in renewables, wind, solar, and electric tech. COPs now discuss fossil fuel phase downs and funding for vulnerable nations, yet finance still lags behind ambition. To meet targets, emissions must peak by 2025, then drop 43% by 2030. Net zero commitments aim for mid-century. But fossil fuel, infrastructure, and equity issues remain critical obstacles. From greenhouse theory to global emergency, climate change is humanity's defining challenge. The heat is on actions now shape whether Earth cools or burns. The next decade will decide our planet's fate.